Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Is it just me? Or do I feel like everyone nowadays is looking for a way to manage their stress? People are anxious, people are stressed out, people are overwhelmed. Well, you know what? The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has given us in the most beautiful example a way to deal with this. And it's not what you think. So, sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said, أو كما قال, teach your children swimming, horseback riding, and archery. Now, there are some that say this is actually a saying attributed to Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu. May Allah be pleased with him. But what we can say is that there's wisdom in this. And although there are hadith that speak about these individual acts that the Prophet ﷺ recommended us to do, they weren't all included in the same saying. But we're going to take the wisdom from this. And what is the wisdom? What is the wisdom in this? Well, for one, let's think about horseback riding. Horseback riding, for anybody that's ever ridden a horse, is not a straightforward endeavor. Not at all. Not when you're starting, at least. And so for one, to ride a horse properly, to not get tossed off, one has to match the rhythm of the horse. Meaning as the horse trots, gallops, moves about, right? He is going to, or she is going to, move in a certain way. And anyone that has ever ridden a horse successfully will tell you that you have to match the rhythm of the horse. In other words, you have to submit to that tremendous beast's motion. You have to submit to the beast's motion. You cannot fight the up and down movements of the horse. You have to move along with him or her. And there's a great lesson in this, because the Sunnah of Allah upon this earth is that this dunya will toss you to and fro. This dunya will mangle you if you fight it. Just like riding that powerful beast, that powerful creature, submitting to the ups and downs of the galloping and the trotting, the movements of the horse, one has to really embrace what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala subjects you to. And in embracing that, right, embracing those circumstances, embracing those difficulties, embracing those life's happenings, peace is attained. You can ride the horse. You won't get tossed off. You won't get thrown about. This dunya is not an easy place to be in. But the more you rely on Allah, the more you appreciate the sunnah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the more you take it for what it is and you don't fight it. You don't try to subdue it, but you move along with it. The more beauty and ease and tranquility you will find in your life. Look at this beautiful body of water right here. You guys see that? Okay, so that was horseback riding. Move with the mighty beast's rhythm. Now, how about swimming? I think this is one we can all sort of relate to. But swimming is ajib. In swimming, when you fight, when you tense up, you sink. But when you relax, when you let go, you float. And likewise, this dunya is such that if you fight and claw, you will not have peace in your life. Oops, look at that, I just tripped. You will trip if you fight and kick and scream, right? Wanting to undo wanting to undo circumstances that you've been subjected to, or the difficulty in your life, it only gets worse. You sink further, and sometimes you sink so bad that you need help, and you get sick, and what's light in your life turns into darkness and difficulty. But when one realizes that he or she is in Allah's care, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is closer to him or her than his own self, when one realizes this reality and lets go and trust in the divine decree, the qadar, one floats. And such is the nature of this dunya. What a beautiful parable we have in swimming, of letting go, and floating. Rocks sink, but that which is light floats. We don't want to be heavy, dense objects that sink to the bottom. We want to be light, agile, and peaceful objects that float to the top. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make you from them. Ameen. And so the last example that we have is that of archery, right? Archery, or in our day, we can even liken it to shooting. If anyone has ever been to a range and ever shot a rifle. So the incredible thing about shooting, and I actually did quite a bit of shooting back in the day. I haven't shot for a while actually. But the great thing about shooting is that you can truly only hit the mark once you're relaxed. You can truly only hit the mark once you've let go. You know, rifle shooting in particular, right? When you have your rifle and you're at the range and you're shooting, right? And you're wanting to hit a target that's maybe a few hundred meters away, right? You'll start to notice that there's a natural rise and fall to your rifle, right? Or we can even say your bow and your arrow. There's a natural rise and fall as you breathe, as you inhale, as you exhale. Right? This is a natural thing that takes place. You'll even start to notice, right? Perhaps if you have a good strong heartbeat, that your rifle or that your arrow and bow move ever so slightly with every heartbeat. And so what the perfect marksmen do, and I actually was a pretty good marksman, what they do is they inhale and then they exhale completely. And they don't pull back on their trigger, even though their finger may be on the trigger, they don't pull back until the breath leaves completely. And it's at that moment of stillness, it's at that moment, right, after you've emptied yourself of yourself, the nafs, the literal nafs, it's gone. In that moment of stillness, that's when your rifle or your bow and arrow, that moment of stillness is most steady and you are most likely to hit the mark. But when the breathing is happening and you're maybe holding your breath at when your lungs are full, there's a lot of turbulence happening. And likewise in life, when you let the nafs get the best of you, when you're full of yourself and there's turbulence in your life, you're not going to find peace. You're not going to find tranquility. It's not until you let go that one can truly hit the mark. And so subhanallah, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam kama qal, or we can say the wisdom of Umar radiallahu anhu, of teaching children very early on swimming, archery, and horseback riding. Aside from the practical elements to that, there are deep lessons that the children will take and incorporate in their life and perhaps reflect upon later in their life. You start them early. And these are lessons for us too. So while everybody is looking for stress relievers, alhamdulillah, the prophetic tradition that imbibed by the inheritors of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? That prophetic tradition treats anxiety at its core, at its root, so that we're not looking for stress relievers, because we can take these lessons and put stress off before it even arises. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to learn from these traditions and incorporate them in our life. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all of you, bless all of us, and increase us in understanding. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.